One of the hardest parts of being a manager is knowing when to step in and when to step back. We want to step in to make sure standards are high, people are doing things to deadlines, things get done as quickly as possible, but we also don't want to micromanage. And if we push too hard on accountability, we do start micromanaging, and that is not good for anyone. But autonomy and accountability aren't actually opposites. We can find a really great balance of the two of them. And when we do this, our team grows, performance improves, and we will eventually get some really good headspace to actually start working on the team and on the important things. I'm going to break this down for you today into 5 very simple steps that if you start following in 2025, you are going to smash your management role out of the park. The first step is setting clear expectations. So many accountability issues stem from the fact that we don't know what we're accountable for. So as a team, you need to make sure that they have some sort of task management system to track the tasks. We use Notion, but you could also use Asana, Monday.com. If people don't know what success looks like, they will set it for themselves, and that level of success may not be at the same standards as yours. Which takes me nicely on to step 2, which is making sure we have a really regular system for check-ins. This will help us avoid hovering in and checking in randomly throughout the week. You could have a traffic light system. Green is on track, red is they're really struggling and need support, and amber is we're doing okay, but we may need to ask for some support at another time. And then on top of that, I would have a monthly review, so a bigger session where all the team can get together and sit and share ideas, help one another, and you can all track that progress together. So weekly, very short check-ins weekly, and then a monthly, a bit of a deeper dive. Outside of that, we cannot be hovering and checking in and being how did you get on this week? We have to just trust our team. As long as they've got those clear expectations, trust them to hit those deadlines on their own. And if they don't, if something falls through the cracks, that's when we can move into having a conversation with them about it. But we have to actually let that happen first before we continue to check it. Step 3 is a bit of a longer play, but in this step, we're going to train our team to be making decisions for themselves and to be pushing towards things for themselves instead of us having to give them all the ideas all the time. So we want to empower decision making. And we do that by when our team comes to us and asks us for our opinion on something, for our decision or final approval, we simply say, what would you do? You're the expert. I'd love you to choose this time. I'd love you to make a bold decision. And you could give them guardrails. So for example, the budget, our outcome, the why this is so important. But everything inside of that, I really want you to make the decisions because you're closest to the problem, you are the expert. I trust you to approach this how you think best, and we can just loop in when we have our weekly check-ins and our monthly review meetings. Outside of that, I trust you. If you fail, I'll be there to back you up. And if you win, I will be shining a spotlight on you when you succeed. So just always pushing our decisions back on the team so they're not relying on you to be making those decisions all the time. 4 is we need to coach them instead of correcting them. And this is similar to number 3. It's all about our communication and the different ways that we train our team to feel accountable. If something goes off track, if a deadline is missed, if something goes wrong, instead of jumping in to save, rescue, help them, fix the problem, ask them, where did you think it went wrong? What do you think we should do differently next time? What are you going to change next time to make sure this doesn't happen again? These are ways that we are taking the accountability away from us as a manager and giving it back to our team. And again, it just really helps to build accountability and problem-solving skills. So we're coaching them to the right outcome instead of just giving it to them, which is usually our default as a manager. And number 5 is rewarding ownership, not just perfection. And what I mean by this is quite often in business, we have a set of KPIs. Say we've got 5 KPIs. And the only time we will praise, reward, or hold someone in high regard is when they hit those KPIs. But KPIs are actually so far out of our control. There's the economy, clients, different team members, seniors. So many different people have control over what the final outcome of KPIs are. And so if all we ever do is reward people for hitting those KPIs, we're not rewarding ownership. We're essentially rewarding a lot of chance and luck. So instead of just rewarding that perfection, which is essentially unattainable, we want to reward ownership instead. So reward when people try new things, experiment, push new ideas. And quite often what that means is we have to reward failure. If someone comes to you and says, look, the KPI hasn't been hit this week, but I've tried these 3 new things, none of them have worked. Next week, I'm going to try these new things to try and get to that KPI. We're getting closer, we're just not quite there yet. For me, that is way more important and impactful than a team who just ride the by and maybe by chance hit a KPI every now and again. We want to reward ownership and not perfection. Praise people, recognize them. when they take those risks and experiment. Now, if you want to take this a whole step further, I've built an entire quiz. You're going to go through 18 questions. It's completely free, and it will tell you exactly where you need to improve and where your biggest strengths are in your leadership role. I will pop that in the description notes. So as managers, we need to balance autonomy and accountability as best we possibly can and create these conditions for our team to thrive. Comment below and let me know what has worked for you in getting your team to be accountable but not micromanaging. And once you've tried these 5 steps, I would love to know how you got on. Bye!